Hello everybody and welcome back to another trip report. Today I'm here at Brisbane International Airport here in Queensland. I'm at the domestic terminal and today I'm going to be flying Rex aboard a Boeing 737 from here in Brisbane down to my home city of Melbourne in business class. Okay, so just got dropped off from Brisbane City by an Uber and now assuming this car stops, let's walk through and check in. So now here, this is the Virgin check-in area, and I believe Qantas is further down that way, and it looks like Rex is also down here. So Virgin, if you're flying business class with Virgin, which today we're not, hopefully sometime in the future though, there is a premium entry area, which is also accessible for gold and platinum frequent flyers. So just through this entry here, you can see there's some self-check-in kiosks here for Jetstar, and then just here for Rex and Jetstar. However, since we do have priority, I am going to see if I can go to a desk because I believe that I might get a voucher since there's no lounge here. More about that later. So when travelling Rex, you have the option of either going to the self-check-in kiosk back there, or you can go to the self-bag drop, or there's check-in desks just back here. I believe that we should have priority check-in though. So let's go and check in. Looks like there's a lot of unhappy Jetstar customers. There is a priority lane for check-in here with Rex. Very small queue though today since we're here a couple hours early. Okay, so check-in's been completed. Now let's head up to security. However, I do want to mention that the check-in staff were absolutely amazing, so friendly and very helpful. The priority wasn't necessary, but it's still appreciated. And yeah, so I've got my boarding pass, and since there's no lounge, a $15 refreshment voucher I think it can be used at almost every place to eat or drink up here. Security has now been completed. It was moving quite quickly because all the lanes are open. However, it's not automated at all. You have to take every single thing out, including belts and stuff. So that's quite annoying, but I mean, it's not like Brisbane's the only airport that has that. Sydney's like that too. Is something that I do hope will be changed though. So in case you're wondering what can be used, you can pause and read all those places where you can use it. There's very nice tarmac views here in Brisbane. There's another flight to Melbourne here, which is the flight before ours. At 6 o'clock, ours is at 7. But yeah. Also, about the Rex Lounge, he said that it's probably going to open in December, but they can't confirm that just yet. Anyways, let's go find somewhere to eat. Something that I do like to see is they have USB-C ports here at some of these desks. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that time lapse. That is not our plane there though, that's the 6 o'clock service. So yeah, with the voucher just here, there's a chocolate muffin in here and a iced chai latte. It's quite hot here in this airport, I'm not sure if it's air conditioned. Just made my way to gate 32, which is our gate. It's so much quieter here. It's Yeah, I can't believe it's so busy down there and so quiet here. So if you're looking for a quiet place to hang out, this would be the place. I can see the lights in the background. Our plane just touched down from Melbourne, so it should be taxiing into this gate here shortly. Only arriving a few minutes late from Melbourne, in fact, almost even a few minutes early. So, yeah. That's our plane for today. However, it's getting blocked by the 6 o'clock service to Melbourne, which is interesting. You'd think that the same airline would kind of work around that somehow. Our plane for today here is VH-RYU, or Victor Hotel Romeo Yankee uniform. It's a 2003 built and delivered, well, it was delivered to Virgin Australia in 2003, registered as VH Victor Oscar Mike, and then eventually was delivered to Rex in 2021 and re-registered. This will be my ride down to Melbourne today. So it's one of the oldest 737s in Rex's fleet.
We thank you for choosing to fly with Rex and we wish you a pleasant flight.
A couple minutes late to priority boarding, but that's okay because we can still use the priority lane. Assuming there is one, actually.
Hello, how are you? Great, thank you very much. Hello.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's wait for that green light. Thank you very much. Hello, how are you?
Let me know if you know what heavy lift is in the comment section.
Please now ensure all seat belts are firmly
Hi.
Hello, matey.
fastened.
Good on you. Welcome to business class.
Thank you. The seat configuration in business class is 2-2 and in economy it's 3-3. There's 8 seats in business class. Here's my seat for today, 2A. There were 2 options for the welcome drink: water, cold water or orange juice. I'm surprised there wasn't champagne, but not a big deal, assuming that there will be some later. Not that I can drink it, but for most passengers. Anyways, let's at least begin going through the seat features of the Rex 737-800 in business class. Well, legroom, as you'd expect for business class, is very, very nice. I mean, I say legroom, what do you expect for business class? That's an exception of Euro business. But yeah, the legroom here is very, very nice. I'm not sure what's going on there. It doesn't really affect me, but I don't think it's meant to be like that. It's meant to be more like that. You have a massive seat back pocket here. Can't see you running out of space. With the True Blue magazine, as well as the safety card and a Rex sick bag. There's no seat back entertainment, but there is streaming to your device. Back here you have a Rex headrest, which is so comfy and so padded, and very nicely adjustable. I'll show you the recline later, but before that, here is the tray table. By the way, the crew are so nice and giving everyone a very nice welcome. So here's the tray table. You can use it half opened or full. And I'm not sure what this is for, but looks like it could be handy. Yeah, it's a very perfect size. And, oh, hold on. Yep, it can be pushed back a little bit and pulled in a little bit, but not too much. So yeah, you'll find that in the armrest here. But that's about it for the seat features of this aircraft. I think for domestic business it's basically the same as Virgin Australia, the old Virgin Australia at least, but there's only a few planes with the new ones. So yeah, it sounds like they're offering sparkling water too. Overall, it's exactly what I'd expect for a 737 in business class. Certainly doesn't like, but it's nothing special. For an older plane though, the leather and everything is in very good condition. There are signs of wear here, but it's nothing like this. It's very clean and no complaints at all.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Captain Paul Miller and First Officer Tim Welsh, welcome on board your Rex flight to Melbourne. Our flight time today will be 2 hours and 10 minutes. My name is Natasha and it is my pleasure to be your cabin manager on today's flight. Please ensure you have taken your assigned seat and your seatbelt is firmly fastened. If you are seated in an emergency exit row or a row without a seat in front, all carry-on items must be stowed in the overhead lockers, keeping the floor area clear. If you require any assistance or there is anything we can do to make your flight more comfortable, please don't hesitate to ask one of our friendly flight attendants as they move through the cabin. Thank you and once again welcome on board your Rex flight to Melbourne.
Ladies and gentlemen, the final door has now been closed. Please now ensure flight mode has been enabled on your mobile phones, smart devices, and all other electronic equipment. Large electronic devices, including laptops, must now be turned off and securely.
In the middle is Ainsley and at the rear is Tom. May we have your full attention as we demonstrate the safety features for this Boeing 737 aircraft. It is a requirement to follow crew instructions at all times. Please pause all electronic devices during this announcement. If oxygen is required, you must remove any face coverings or masks before placing the oxygen mask over your nose and mouth.
In your seat pocket, you will find a cabin safety information card, which shows the brace position and other important information on what you should do in the unlikely event of an emergency. Please read this carefully before we take off. Your seatbelt should now be securely fastened low and tight around your hips. Fasten the seatbelt by placing the clasp into the metal buckle. To tighten, pull the strap outwards, and to release, lift the metal buckle. Your seatbelt must be securely fastened whenever you are seated, directed by your crew, and whenever the seatbelt sign is illuminated.
The cabin lights have now been dimmed for takeoff. Our route today then took us northeast out of Brisbane before making a right-hand turn to head southwest down to Melbourne in what was basically a straight line. We then made a couple turns before landing in Melbourne from the south. Flight time today was 2 hours and 10 minutes at a cruising altitude of 38,000 feet.
Savoury snack will be provided. A cashless bar service is available with alcoholic drinks from $6 and soft drinks at $4 each. Apple and Google Pay are accepted. There are 2 lavatories located at the rear of the aircraft for your convenience. May I remind you this is a non-smoking flight. Smoking, including the use of...
By the way, I'm pretty sure those soft drink fees and all that does not apply to us business class passengers.
Whenever the seatbelt sign is illuminated, your seatbelt must be fastened. If you misplace your electronic device in flight, do not move your seat and contact the flight attendant immediately. Whilst on board our aircraft, we suggest you do some gentle exercises. Please refer to the in-flight magazine for more information. If there is nothing we can do to make your flight more comfortable, please don't hesitate to ask. Thank you and enjoy.
A little bit of turbulence. I think we're climbing through the clouds here. One of the flight attendants up the front here just went past and blocked off the area so economy class passengers couldn't come through to business class, which I guess is normal procedure. And I'm quite impressed that he did actually ask if he could get anything from the overhead bins for us, which I think is just a nice little touch. So the very friendly cabin manager just came around to take our meal order. So I do want to say a couple of things about that actually. So there were 2 options. There was one which was the chicken schnitzel with mashed potato, and the other option was I think it was a harissa salad with mozzarella or something like that. So there's 8 seats in business class, and they only loaded 5 of the chicken schnitzel. So all the people in the first row, so 1, A, C, F and D, they all picked the schnitzel. So they left only 1 schnitzel left by the time it got to row 2. Look, I've only flown business class on a 737 once, and that was with Virgin. Didn't have an issue with that, but I'm not sure if that's standard or exactly what that is. It may have something to do with the flight up here, because they probably loaded the catering. Thank you. Because they probably loaded the catering in Melbourne. So that's my guess. But if any of you know, let me know in the comments. So I mean, it's not particularly impressive. I'm not really complaining though. It's kind of just something that can happen now and then. Anyways, look forward to seeing what it's like. Got my cup of sparkling water, which was very nicely served with lemon. This is on a little bit of an angle. It's not a big deal, but still something to note. Also, they had a very wide drink selection. They had sparkling water, regular water, rosé, chardonnay, and some other type of wine. I don't know much about wine, so yeah. Then they had beer and also soft drinks and tea, coffee. So wide selection there. I think that's quite impressive. I would expect that, but it definitely does not fall below expectations. The lovely cabin crew just came around to serve me the last chicken schnitzel. By the way, my theory is confirmed by that catering cart there, which says the flight number of the flight up here and this flight back. Okay, so first up here we have, this is the main meal, which let's reveal that now. Okay, so the food has revealed itself. Here is the chicken schnitzel, mashed potatoes, and that looks to be carrot, and no clue what this is. I'll try it out later. Looks pretty nice, pretty okay. Often airplane food doesn't look great and then it tastes really good. So there's some, I could not tell you what this is. It's like some muffin type thing just there. I believe this is a bread roll in here. Yes, that does look like a nice square bread roll in there. And there's some butter here. And got some wooden cutlery. And finally, for dessert, a nice looking chocolate bar. Anyways, let's try it out and I'll let you know how it is in a little bit. Oh, and of course, a little bottle of water. Okay, so cabin crew is now coming around to take our dishes. Just had a little bit of the meal, or quite a bit of the meal. So the main meal here, it's chicken schnitzel. I think it's in some honey soy dressing, which is very nice. I didn't try the carrot, but I think it probably would have been good. But I'm not a big fan of cooked carrot. I had about half of the mashed potato. In general, I don't dislike it, but I'm not a big mashed potato fan. But as far as mashed potatoes go, it was pretty good. And then this is pureed peas, which I didn't like, but I don't normally love peas anyway. And then just here, the muffin, it's very strange, I'll be honest. I think it's cherry or something in there. And then it's like cinnamon and stuff. Don't love it, not the worst. It's most certainly edible, but I wouldn't buy it. Like, it's not great. The bread was nice and warm and went nicely with the butter. And got a chocolate here, which I haven't eaten yet. It's dark chocolate, pretty weak dark chocolate. And I'll try that soon. Cabin crew are going to bring me around a tea, which I asked for. And once again, been super friendly. So overall, I think that the Rex business class meal service is actually very good. It's Virgin tend to give you a massive main meal, from what I've seen, and just like a little chocolate, but they don't give you bread. Sometimes they give you bread, but they don't give you as many sides. So it's about the same as Virgin in terms of like how good it is in quantity and that. Not as good as Qantas though, it's very strange. Last time I flew Qantas, they gave me one main meal which was about this size. It wasn't great, so yeah. Okay, cabin crew just came around and handed me my tea. Here's the chocolate, it looks very fancy, haven't tried it yet. Yeah, tea looks good also. A economy class passenger just tried to use despite there being, I think, like a rope or something there, or a divider, they tried to use the business class lavatory because they said that the back one was full. Not sure that's how it works, but it's nice to see that the cabin crew do enforce that. Still very kindly though. Kind of hard to see, but this should give you a solid idea of the recline. Yep, so you know, it's a 737 and it's just marketed as a standard recliner seat, but I think that it's pretty good and it makes it so much more comfortable, and I think I could pretty easily sleep here if I wanted to, at least on a night flight.
The stage showing a touchdown time of 20 minutes last time, and anticipated heading on the gate on time.
Under final rubbish collection. If you have any unwanted newspapers or any rubbish from the service, we can collect it from you now. It would greatly assist your crew if you can ensure all rubbish is removed from the seat pocket. Shortly, the captain will switch on the fasten seatbelt sign in preparation for landing.
As we turn into land from the south, I'm getting some very beautiful views of Melbourne. Actually, it looks, maybe it's just me, but it looks very bright today. That's our runway. Just quickly, while we're on approach into Melbourne Tullamarine, I'd like to mention that since filming this video, In fact, only a week or two after filming, Rex announced that you could now bid to upgrade to business class. It's starting from $10, which I think is very reasonable. I mean, you're probably quite unlikely to get it for $10, but try to keep that in mind when I conclude the video later on. Anyways, enjoy the landing. Welcome to Melbourne. That landing was actually pretty nice considering it's 737. Not the best I've ever been on, but certainly pretty decent.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Melbourne, where the local time is 20 minutes past 9. Please remain seated with your seatbelt firmly fastened until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the captain has switched off the fasten seatbelt sign. If your electronic devices are within reach, you are welcome to use these now. On behalf of Captain Paul Miller and your crew, we would like to thank you for flying Rex today. It has been our pleasure to have you on board and we look forward to your company when you next choose to fly. Thank you and have a lovely evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain speaking. Welcome to Melbourne. Just a slight delay taxiing to our gate. There is an aircraft parked there at the moment. It's about to push back. So we're just holding our current position for about another 5 minutes, I would estimate. I just ask you to remain in your seats with your seatbelts fastened until the seatbelt sign has been turned off. Thank you.
This Virgin flight to Canberra is currently holding our gate, which I think is gate 11, which is a very nice gate to park at since there is airstairs at the front. However, the not so good thing is that it's delayed, so we have to wait 5 minutes. It's okay though, not Rex's fault. After a delay lasting a little more than 5 minutes, I'm now taxiing to gate 11. I can see a Lufthansa Technic truck. No clue why there's a Lufthansa truck in Melbourne. If you know, let me know.
Lovely night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See ya. Have a nice night. Welcome to Melbourne. It's so much more chilly here. Very quiet here at 10 p.m. Okay, so I've got a couple of photos. Now time to conclude today's flight with Rex. Well, journey started in Brisbane. The check-in agent was absolutely lovely because we're there early. Not much of a wait, but even still so there is priority. And then we got the $15 voucher, which if you had lounge access you would have probably eaten more than that money's worth, but still very, very much appreciated nonetheless. It sounds like by the time you're watching this, the lounge may be open. So, yeah. also, boarding was on time, or maybe 5 minutes late, but that's not too bad. It wasn't their fault once again because a Virgin plane was pushing back late, as it was when we landed. And then once we got on board, we were welcomed by some incredibly friendly crew, and we got a nice welcome drink. Bit surprised there wasn't champagne on there. Not a big deal. I certainly don't mind at all because I couldn't have had it anyway. But yeah, still a little thing to note. And then takeoff was, I think, at 7:09, so basically on time. Then it was a little bit bumpy on the way up and on the descent, but it was mostly a pretty smooth flight. Cabin crew were pretty attentive and came around multiple times to make sure we were doing all right throughout the flight. The meal was, I mean, it's nothing incredible for it's kind of the business class meal that I would expect. Certainly not below average, and was pretty tasty, and probably would have actually been very nice if you had the right taste buds. So yeah. So no complaints at all for the food or drink service, really. The seat, there were a couple of little things that were slightly broken. It didn't really affect me, but it would look better if it was fixed. There was no entertainment, but there is on some of them, and it's not really a big deal. Spend half your time eating anyway. And yeah, the atmosphere was very nice. It was pretty quiet. Very quiet, actually. And yeah, then we landed actually 5 minutes early, but ended up parking 5 minutes late because of another Virgin plane, as I said, on the ground. So once again, not Rex's fault. And his deboarding was pretty quick and an efficient process. So yeah, well, I have a couple of things that I wanted to answer. Firstly, is business class worth it? Well, the normal price for economy class on Rex from Brisbane to Melbourne is 99 Australian dollars. Business class is normally 289 Australian dollars. Is it worth an extra $190? Definitely not, to be honest. Look, if you're quite tall, if you're really looking for a premium experience, then I guess it's a lot better than paying $800 for Qantas, by far. But for just the average traveller or whatever, it's not worth it. However, since I booked it late, I had to book it late, so it was actually only $50 more than economy class, which was so then when I saw there was $50 more, if it's only $50 more, I think it's definitely worth it, because I mean, even if you only get the $15 voucher, that's still $15 you probably would have spent otherwise at the airport. And yeah, and it's definitely worth, in my opinion, $50 more. Wouldn't pay much more than that really, though, for business class. So yeah, that was $50 more than a flex fare, by the way, and that was a Biz Plus fare that I got. My conclusion would be that in terms of business class, I think, to be quite honest, I think if it's exactly the same price, Virgin is a better option just because of their lounge. However, I don't think it's really worth paying much more for Virgin, since they're a very similar product, and Rex's crew are absolutely amazing, in that ground crew included. So I just haven't seen an airline that has crew that good. It's really quite amazing. So friendly. So, well, if you're choosing between Virgin and Rex, if Rex is any cheaper, then I would probably go Rex. But if it's the same price, then I'd go Virgin, especially if you're a Velocity frequent flyer. So, yeah. One last question to answer is, I think about a month ago now, from the time of recording, Rex was named the Australian Airline of the Year. Do I think that Rex is Australia's best airline? Yes, I do think that Rex is probably Australia's best airline, by a solid amount, really. I think followed by Virgin, because they have a very good frequent flyer program, which is something that Rex does need to get happening if they're going to properly compete with Virgin Australia. But Rex's punctuality is so good, and the crew are just so good that I do think it deserves Australian Airline of the Year. So that does conclude today's trip report. Thank you all for watching today's video. A like and subscription if you enjoyed would be very much appreciated and would help me out a lot. However, is not expected, not necessary. And also check out my website for information on upcoming flights and an easier way to navigate trip reports. By the way, I only update the trip reports page once every month. Sorry about that. But yeah, and then thank you to all my absolutely amazing Patreons who help to make these videos possible. The link to my website will be in the description or in my About page, as well as in the description. There'll also be lots more information on today's flight. So once again, thank you all for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you in my next video.